To
You
like
can't,
maybe
wait, so
not be so
what are you doing?
talking about things until the first commercial's over. So Doug
There we go.
There you go. Then I'll
gets
watch
all the words we
Oh,
say
here's the commercial.
on
and so, did you tell
the
them about the
live
side
stream.
chatter and how distracting it is?
Mine didn't go.
See, yeah, everybody, yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, mine went live.
Skip ads.
Hey everybody, this is Matt. We're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching another Sunday live stream. We've got a shop full of folks here because tomorrow, you know what happens?
It's Cridman.
That's right, and you and I are at the kids' table already.
Yeah, we are.
Why?
It
Why are
doesn't
we?
look like it on the screen.
I feel really little.
It looks like it to me on the screen. I'll be honest with you. It does. Yeah.
Our chairs are normally like quite a bit taller than this. So
But we've doled out all the tall chairs to all our guests.
yes. So we have Doug and Gary and Kim and Mrs. Toast and Dave and Matt and Chris. Chris, you look very charming today.
Thank you, Matt.
What's going on with the beard? How are you doing? And there's a couple of people who want beard tips, and they say, Chris, I want some beard tips from Chris because I like jazz masters and beards.
Oxy says, I'm only here for Chris's beard.
That's
and
what
I am also a bearded jazz master loving dude named Chris.
Do you have any special beard oils that you use?
No, I don't. I moisturize.
Like the
as
beard or
all people should. Well, my face.
oh, okay, your
Yeah.
face.
Yeah, my
Okay.
face. My skin and beard area. I don't like to have an itchy mustache.
An itchy mustache.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, but I don't necessarily like oils. So
The finest
Yeah.
creams and lotions.
finest creams and lotions.
That's what you use.
on
Yes.
my face. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Mrs. Toast woke me
yeah.
up at 3:00 in the morning this morning, and
To
I
give
tried.
you a kiss.
She did. You know why? Because I'm irresistible. So anyway, yeah, everybody turn off your sound dealies if you would, please.
She's on it.
So anyway,
It's just
so
gonna get dumber from here.
it's just gonna get, I hope that everyone can hear because we have a new microphone today.
Yeah, let us know how the sound is because
You guys bitched and whined
yeah,
and
look,
bellyached
it's right
so
there.
So
much.
there, Ole Hansen says, wow, the picture and sound is great now.
Awesome. Okay,
Big
good.
smiley face.
Big
Finally.
smiley face. So, Mrs. Toast, you look exceptionally delightful today. How are you?
Well, it's a day that ends in Y.
Yeah, I know. You're always beguiling.
Like
Yeah.
Nanny Fran.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you know that Andy the Saint is sending Mrs. Toast a members only jacket? And it's pink. And it's got the Mrs. Toast logo on the front.
Yeah, I was there.
I don't know how anyone's going to ever see it. Maybe you're going to have to wear it.
Well, like I was saying, I'm going to make a mask of my face that's
Mm-hmm.
pixelated. And I can walk around with my pixelated face mask.
Okay. That's going to be tricky, but okay.
But I was thinking about changing my profile picture to be an actual photo.
Oh, there are tens of people who want to see that.
Well, it's the one from 4th grade. It was the worst picture I ever took in my entire life. Yeah.
Well, I can't imagine that you've ever taken a bad picture, and it's always wonderful to have you here, my love. So anyway, enough with that. No. So there's a lot of stuff going on, Chris.
There is, and I have no idea what's
That's
going
because
on.
you've been drinking all day. Because Jimmy set us up with these cool Coors mug glasses. He's watching. He tuned in. What do you think
Is
of
he
that?
here now?
He was just a little
Okay,
bit ago. He
cool.
might still be.
Yeah,
What do you think of that? The Peruvian beer.
I like it quite a bit.
Are you drinking Henry Weinhardt's Private Reserve or that?
I
stuff?
believe this is indeed a Henry Weinhardt's Private Reserve.
Well, is it? Can you taste the Weinhardtness?
I can,
Weinheartedness.
I can taste the Wisconsin in this beer.
That's the best thing.
Yeah. They
Very
know how
good.
to make beer.
I don't know from beer. And just if you don't believe me, just ask Brad Ango. He will tell you. We're also fortunate enough to have an alumni returning with an alumni guitar. You can see it in the background. Did you know that? It was already in the back. Did you know I put that in there?
I knew it was there. I hadn't looked to see.
So
if I was
Dave,
blocking
who
with my big head like
was
this.
no, don't block it. Dave, who was here for the Build the Classic Telecaster.
When was that, Dave?
6 months ago, October.
It seems like it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it doesn't
but
seem like it was that long ago, but it was 6 months ago.
Months.
October.
Yeah. Okay.
It seems like
Yeah, because it was Halloween candy.
and you were
Yeah.
chowing down. You were.
I
really-
was mowing the Halloween candy. Yes, that's exactly right.
No, but remember when we started this class? It was like the last week of the last week of November. And I'm like, oh, it's months away. And here we are. Tomorrow we start build and paint a guitar with Mike Learn. And the shop is going to be full of people building and painting.
Fuller than the shop's ever been.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely 100%.
Yep.
So tell me, Chris, what are you looking forward to the most for build and paint a guitar with Mike Learn?
I think just seeing what everybody comes up with. All the ideas. I've tried to stay
because we have no idea
I have
what
no
anyone's
idea.
doing.
I have a little idea because of some of the names on the fingerboards.
Yeah.
That we've done.
Mhm.
But for the most part, I have no idea what everybody wants and what everybody expects their guitar to look like.
Here's what I know. You and Mike have everybody set up for success because everyone sent their guitar design ideas to Mike, and he's going to have like all the stuff plotted.
Yeah.
And you have got all the guitars are like basically ready to fit like final sand, and they can start painting right away.
Put all those bodies and necks together.
Somebody has to do all the grunt
Yeah.
work.
Well, yeah. And
But I am super excited. There's like 7 little soldiers ready for paint.
Yeah.
And they're all gonna be the same, but they're all gonna be different. And that's gonna be really neat.
Yeah, and it's gonna be really neat. And I think the little bit that I do know, we're not gonna end up with 7 tiger sharks. You know? And everybody's thing's going to be different, and everybody's thing's going to be cool, and it's going to be really
everyone's
really
going to have
fun.
an heirloom instrument when it's all said and done.
Yeah, and come Friday, it may be one of the coolest reveals we ever do, just because everything's going to be wildly different.
It's going to be crazy.
Than everything else. With no disrespect to any other class we've done.
But it's Mrs. Toast is providing us with
our tribble
and trophy thing.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what this is for, but so yeah.
Like, where's the Stanley Cup?
Oh, somebody asked.
Yeah.
Was it Brad?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
It was M. Hokey 63.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you for tuning in, M. Hokey 63. You know what? I'm a little bit concerned about this. There's still a reveal guitar that I'm raising the price on tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And it's a real deal. I think that it's because our reveal was people had a hard time being astonished at the sonic bombast that was that guitar, because the old microphone kind of kept cutting in and out.
Yeah.
So maybe that was the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that guitar is still available. It's still for sale, and it's still on sale. And there was a guy who actually said, hey, I want you guys to do a guitar out of that ambrosia maple slab that we have over there.
Yeah.
So that will be a cool thing. And he wanted something very similar, but with a Floyd. As you know, we do stuff with Floyds all the time, which kind of almost brings us to where we are going to talk. We're going to try to focus a lot of energy today. And that is the top 5 guitars from the 80s. And I want to hear from all of you guys what your top, and remember, the 70s aren't the 80s, but as you pointed out, Chris,
1980 is the
80s.
And a lot of things happened in late 79, early 80 that you think are 79,
but they're actually
1980, like the song, the Pina Colada song.
That was a good song. I always associate that with the 70s.
It was a hit in spring of 1980.
And people really dig it in the Sweetest Thing movie, because they're all dancing around wet in their underwears.
Well,
that sounds like a good movie.
But
are you going to be asleep later? Maybe I'll watch it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, shut up.
No, it's true. I tried to go back to sleep, but you won't believe this, but I really was super excited. The last couple of days, I haven't been able to like sleep all the way through the night.
Yeah.
So I think it's just going to be lots and lots of beer, and then Matt goes right to bed, and then gets up real early tomorrow, and maybe we'll go. Maybe we'll have food tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys want food tonight? Anybody?
I want to eat. All I had all day was a bagel and a Boost.
A big old what?
A bagel.
A big old what?
A plain bagel with cream cheese.
You talk
and
funny, Mrs.
Boost.
Toast. A big old. No, that's a Texas thing. Gary and Kim are in the Oklahoma area, so they probably know people who have said a big old what? A big old bagel. And never mind.
I never ever heard that before in my life.
Yeah, I say it all the time, nerd.
Yeah.
So we don't have an actual list of the top 5 greatest guitars of the 1980s, but we're gonna come up with a definitive list tonight.
Okay.
So what makes you the freaking lords of the 80s guitar?
Well, no one really makes us the lords of the 80s guitars, but we're the first people who want to do this. So it's an absurd list, and we want to come up with a definitive list, right, Chris? I know that was what you were thinking about all week.
Exactly. Yeah. It wasn't another category that you told me about earlier.
Oh, the ones I said are on there. So Doug is actually looking. Some of these you guys are already commenting. That's very cool. So this is something though that like I don't want to hear like just Jackson or just Kramer's. I want to hear actual model names.
Yes, there are.
Okay, good. All right. Well, I just wanted to. Just settle down there. We'll get to this here.
You let
It'll be
him
okay.
interrupt you,
This
and
is
you look at me.
disconcerting to me
Why?
because it's right here.
What? It's been that long since you had a muff in your face?
Yeah.
Oh!
No, it's been that long since I choked myself with a zip tie.
You're gonna block the microphone.
Okay, so I'll put it here.
All right,
that's way better.
fancy.
Hey, wait, there we go. Perfect.
I got to get all my props in or just here. Give it to me. There we go. We're gonna take care of this, buddy. Jeez Louise.
It's way better.
Good God Almighty. All right. I'm sorry to whoever that was that wanted to see that, but it's still here. So what else did we need? Did we need to talk about anything else? We're already off the rails.
The fuzzy thing from our microphone that we don't use anymore is part of it. A zip
There you go.
tie
Thank you, Dave.
is part of it. Yeah.
It's a whole thing. I like that I still like that it's glued back together. We still drank out of it.
Mom always says, don't play ball in the house.
Mom always says, don't play ball in the house.
Uh-huh.
Jeffrey never said that on the show.
Are there any, great guitar build off update. We will not be doing any reaction videos this week because we've got a bunch of class stuff going on. We can't be monkeying around with,
We got way more important stuff to do.
We've got one more important thing to do. And
Yeah.
You can have a big wake at those videos too, and I think people will still enjoy them.
What do you mean a big wake at the videos?
After it passes, there's a wake.
Oh, well, then now see, that's an interesting thing because as
Every once in a while, I have a good idea.
you always have good ideas, and that's a particularly good one.
Even though Doug can just say stuff and you listen to him, and I'm over here all the time.
Doug-
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Doug, by the end of the week, I'll be talking smack to Doug too. So yeah. One of the things that we want to talk about with judging is we're going to be talking a lot of smack about the guitars once they're done. You know what I mean? So apparently we will get a list of 10 guitars or whatever it is. And people will, and so someone will vote on that, and then we'll get that list, and then we'll get to vote on which ones we think are the coolest, right? I guess.
Sure.
You don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well,
once again, we have no real.
No, we don't have any Jews.
No, not even that. Nobody's told us what we're supposed to do.
No.
You're judges. Go.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
Happy Meal for us.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, "When do I get my shirt?" And I'm like, "Beats me. I'm not putting on this show." Yeah.
I don't know. Around the same time we get our shirts.
Yeah. Chris definitely needs another one done.
Yeah,
Sure.
So does Mrs. Toast. Keep
I
them
would like
drinking.
the water.
So we do not have any juice with the Great Guitar Build Off,
No.
other than that we are participating as judges. So that's all we're really doing. We don't have it. We're not responsible for getting people's shirts.
No.
Are you responsible for anything?
We're not really responsible.
No, we're
for
really
it.
not responsible for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going rogue on this whole thing.
We are.
We are participating in a non-participatory way.
Yes.
Participatory way.
Okay.
Yes.
We are going to not participate with alacrity.
correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, I was watching Star Trek today. And Mr. Spock
Alacrity?
said that. Yeah. That's a real word. So anyway, let's jump right in, Chris, to top 5 guitars from the 80s.
Okay.
What are some of your go-to guitars from the 80s?
The first guitar that I think of from the 80s is Eddie Van Halen.
Now let's talk about that because I take umbrage with that.
Okay.
I don't believe that is a model that you could just get.
Correct.
So that was that's I don't know. That's like saying what's the top 5 cars from the 1980s kit from Knight Rider. I mean, that wasn't really a car you could just get. You know what I mean?
Sure.
86 Scirocco.
Yeah, 86 Scirocco. That's a whole nother kettle of
It looks
fish.
like the Inspector Gadget mobile.
So you're gonna go with another thing about that. Everybody wants that to be their that's gonna be their number one thing. You know what I mean? Maybe I need to be more maybe I need to be more clear. What do you think the top 5 models of guitars of the 80s were?
So I think one of them would have been the and I can't remember I think it's the Ibanez 540, the Joe Satriani model.
Okay.
Especially with the chrome paint job. I think that would be
was really cool.
5. Is that a suitable answer for you, Matthew?
Yeah, I think that's perfectly acceptable. Okay, good. I don't know why it's so hard to think that was not going to be a thing. What's the matter with you? So no, I think that was a neat guitar. Well, it was like super. It was like I say this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a 3-day-old bar of soap. There was no hard corners on it, all roundy and
a super strat
mm-hmm.
melted into something else. It was thinner. It was slimmer. It was
Do you consider Joe
Everything.
Satriani an 80s guitar like virtuoso guy from the 80s?
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
But so if it's not a contest, but who's better, Joe Satriani or Eric Johnson?
I will go with Joe Satriani.
How come?
Just because I liked his stuff a little better.
Okay.
I listened to a lot of Joe Satriani.
I kind of get Eric Johnson and Joe Satriani kind of mixed up sometimes.
Do you?
I'm like, oh shit, I thought that was the other guy.
The funny thing is this week we listened to Aaron Claflin. Yeah, to Eric Johnson's one of his CDs.
The ones with Cliffs of Dover on it,
Yeah.
which I never get mixed up with Joe Satriani. But
No, I do, but there's some similar guitar tones.
Yeah.
And some similar modulations.
Yeah, absolutely.
And approaches to songs.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And one of the funny things that I always read about Joe Satriani was that he could sit down and he could write a song without actually having a guitar in his hands.
Wow.
And it was this whole classical music thing
Mm-hmm.
where guys like Mozart and Beethoven would write things.
Guys who are wildly skilled could just think stuff.
Just think and write.
Wow.
And that Joe Satriani was one of those guys.
Okay.
And presumably Eric Johnson was one of those guys.
Not taking anything away from Satriani because
either one.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, well, if you're doing it that way, then it's fairly mathematical and it's fairly,
which is one of the problems that I have with a lot of those like super mega awesome guitar players. They're not as fun to listen to me as say Angus Young, who probably
played from his groin.
Yeah, if you ever said, "Hey Angus, have you ever just sort of sat down and wrote out a song?"
Yeah, no.
And he'd be like,
no.
"What are you talking about, mate?"
Yeah.
So anyhow,
and the worst of those guys, at least for me, was always Steve Vai.
You're gonna make a lot of friends here, but I think I 100%
I
agree.
just never get into him. For some reason, I could get into Satriani and several other people, but not Steve Vai.
I don't think
just something slightly less disconnected or more disconnected
I think
for
it was
me.
a stupid hat.
Yeah.
That totally.
It was the monkey grip is really what it was.
Joe Satriani or Steve Vai had the
Steve
stupid hat?
Vai.
What stupid hat
Didn't
did
he
he
have a
have?
stupid black hat?
Not that I know of.
Really?
I think there was an album that he had a black hat on.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out.
I think
Yeah.
the difference between Eric Johnson and Satriani is what kind of drugs you're doing at the time that you listen to them. That plays a huge part in music.
Yeah.
Like when you're coming down off of something, you want to hear like fucking Portishead or something,
Yeah, like Allman Brothers. Yeah. Yeah.
if you're like fucking riding that fucking, LSD train and there's no beer
Yeah,
left
Chris,
and
what's
there's
that
no
like?
cigarettes,
Well,
it's
so-
Satriani all the way.
Hang on a second. I think I can get this one for you. So what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to listen to something. You're going to want to turn the lights down. You're going to want to listen to something a little more mellow, maybe Allman Brothers. And don't worry, we're going to get through this.
Chris is prescribing your pleasure from dusk till dawn. Rock and roll doctor is always on. So let's talk about the Joe Satriani model. Are foregoing the Ibanez Gem with the monkey grip?
Well, that came out later, but the guitar that I originally wanted was one of those. Yeah, it was dark blue. It was Lance Romance blue.
Oh, the Satriani one?
Yeah, the
Okay.
Satriani one. Yeah, and yeah, humbucker, single humbucker. And yeah, that was the guitar.
Double
that I
locking
thought-
tram. Yeah.
It had strap buttons that
It sure
that
did.
locked in.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there were V's
That's strap buttons.
like that. Everybody's gonna be like, yeah, that's exactly how they
Yeah.
looked. Yeah, that was the guitar. Because I get into guitar fairly late.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Because you're an actual musician. You
88.
played piano for a long time, right?
yes.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not taking a piss. That's a real thing.
Yeah, and that was the guitar I wanted
Mhm.
was a Joe Sat, and there was a model before it was the Joe Satriani model,
Oh, okay. And then he
and
had
then they gave it to him and whatever.
Okay.
But, yeah,
my number 4 pick is going to be the BC Rich Ironbird.
okay,
You knew it was coming.
uh-huh,
It's not controversial at all.
and no,
But it was very 80s.
Yeah.
And if you remember the first time that you were sitting on the couch, you're watching MTV, it's 85, 86, and Poison Talk Dirty to Me video comes on, and there's CC DeVille is like, you would get teased for this. Well, anything CC DeVille did, you would get teased for now. But if you had a band picture where you're in an alley and there's a big, huge line of guitars, remember that? And they were all like iridescent pink and yellow and green, and they were all BC Rich things. And then that was how the video started. Do you remember that?
that seems like a very specific video.
Well,
but yes,
no, it's not. It's not an unspecific. Why I even told you what it was called. Remember? So you don't remember where you were the first time you saw that? Maybe you never saw it. Maybe you should see it again for the first time.
yes,
So the BC Rich Ironbird is like extra pointy
uh-huh.
in every single direction,
Mhm.
completely uncomfortable, probably.
Mhm.
I've only seen a few in the wild.
Mhm.
Normally, I've seen them in videos. Lita Ford has one or whatever, and CC DeVille has them. And they weren't. I don't think the Ironbird was as popular as, say, the Warlock or the Mockingbird or some of those others. But do you remember the BC Rich Ironbird? Are you just
Yes.
are you not having fun?
No, I'm having a great time.
You seem like you're like kind of bummed out.
I'm still
Yeah, there you go.
I'm still wondering if you just said yellow.
I did say yellow.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know why I did that?
I never noticed anything that
You don't want to get punched in the vagina.
your
No, because
homeboy-
Gary and Kim are here.
Your homeboy played.
Completely.
What's that?
I never noticed anything that your homeboy played in those videos. That wasn't one of the things that I noticed.
What about the great big skull guitar?
No,
Okay.
sorry.
All right. Well, give us number 3 then, smart guy.
Number 3, Smart
This is
Guy.
going to be the most controversial one of all.
80s guitars.
Yep.
Oh man.
You want me to tell you what? Want me to take this one?
Sure.
All right. This is very controversial.
Okay.
The Randy Rhodes V, the
Okay.
Jackson V.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's probably started in the like early 80s, maybe even probably wouldn't have been in the 70s, but
Yeah.
it was going to be an early 80s guitar. What do you think? Okay, so let's talk about the Randy Rhodes V. So that had the offset thing. It had a little longer V and then a little
Uh-huh.
shorter V.
Yep.
And then had the pointy headstock.
Mhm.
I remember seeing those, and they were, even if you don't like Vs, the Jacksons from the 80s that were, all it was before there was like everything was outsourced to the Orient, and they were all just absolutely beautiful instruments. Even if you didn't like these, you had to like at least sign off and go, wow, that's like really well done. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you remember seeing Jacksons that were like American made stuff
No.
in the 80s? Okay.
Honestly, no. Where was I going to see that?
What like
magical mystery shop was I going to see that guitar?
Well,
I remember seeing Bentleys that looked like that.
What's a Bentley?
Exactly.
Okay.
I remember seeing other knockoff brands of those guitars. An Arbor, one of the first guitars that I ever played, I borrowed from a buddy named Dan, and it was that guitar, but it was labeled Arbor.
Okay.
And that
it was white with the gold kind of stripe and stuff?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Yes. It was a St. Louis Music knockoff.
Okay.
That guitar. And
right.
It might have been a great guitar. I don't know.
Okay.
I couldn't play it, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay. So really, I'm asking the wrong guy what the greatest 80s guitar. I thought after the Joe Satriani thing, I'm like, man, Chris is gonna like come at me and like wow me with all these awesome things. Yeah. So
yeah, 80s.
Further into that end, you're
Les
like
Paul.
You're like I would. Well, that's not a model from the 80s though.
But it was when Slash played it.
Well, let's talk. Okay, number 2 pick, the most controversial pick of all, the Slash 59 Les Paul. Actually, that's a terrific one, Chris.
Okay.
That is an excellent answer.
Thanks, Matt.
And do you know why I think it's an excellent
Because
and a very controversial indeed.
It wasn't a real Gibson.
That's right. Well, and it wasn't made in 1959.
Well,
it was made in the early 80s.
Yeah.
That's a great one, Chris. Very good.
Thanks.
Very excellent.
Thanks.
So, do you know the story of that guitar?
Sure. But go ahead and tell it.
No, I'm ready. Go.
No, you need to tell the story.
Why?
Because
I want to see if you know it.
I know some of it.
All right, let's hear it.
One, here it goes.
Yeah. I don't want you to feel like I'm hogging the whole live stream.
No, you're putting them on the spot.
Yeah.
Oh, there's money. Hey, Saved by the Bell. Yes, ma'am.
So Tony says,
Hey,
brings
Tony.
up a very good, Tony Lopez.
Yes.
Brings up a very good question.
Okay.
You mean to say that there are other guitar makers besides Texas Toast? Why would you want another?
Gosh, actually, Tony, thank you. And you could actually make the case that Matt's first guitar was built in the 80s. That's right.
And then Rotbox, which kind of creeps me out, the name.
It does a little bit, yeah.
It generates an unpleasant visual. But Jackson Kelly and Hamer Scarab, 2 of the best, double exclamation point.
Okay. Definitely the same kind of musical style. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. But let's go back to the Slash Les Paul because it's a pretty neat story.
It is,
and I'm sure everybody knows the story of the.
They
Slash
probably
Les
do,
Paul.
but you tell it.
I don't know the story. I want to hear a story.
What you're gonna go somewhere? Chris has to go take a dump.
It's gonna have
So the Slash Appetite for Destruction Les Paul was, I remember seeing those videos and reading in Guitar World or Guitar Player, whatever it was, about Slash's 1959 Les Paul. I'm like, ooh, wow, cool. Well, as it turns out, that was a forgery. It was a counterfeit guitar. And it was either made by a guy named Chris Deering or a guy named Max. And depending on what part of the story you believe or no, I don't know. I wasn't there. I've never seen it. But there was a guy, actually both those guys would build replicas, counterfeit versions of guitars that Gibson didn't really make at the time. And there's a lot of backing and forthing on whether or not Slash, there was some talk of Slash stole the guitar from somebody, but actually what it was is he wanted to steal the Marshall JCM 800 that he used in that recording. But the guitar, according to legend, he actually bought that guitar and was paying it off and used it for that recording and liked it so much that or depending on who you believe, there's a lot of lore about that story. But what I can tell you is that Slash's 1959 Gibson Les Paul is neither 1959 Gibson or Les Paul.
How many 1959's Gibson Les Pauls are out there right now?
There are
3 times as many that were built in the 59.
Yeah, there are definitely more 1959 Les Pauls now than there were in 1960.
Yes,
that much I do know.
Aren't there 200 built only?
There's something that 1,800 or 1,100 or so guitars that were built by Gibsons. I've got in that book over there.
and there's probably like 36,000 that people say, "Oh, this is a 59
Yeah,
Les Paul." Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's quite a few that have been, and I think Slash owns an actual 1959 or 58.
Well, Tom
Les
D
Paul.
said Slash's was an Epiphone.
Well, no, it wasn't. Not in the not for that Appetite for Destruction album. It
Maybe after the record deal.
Well, it actually. Go ahead.
He's had some Epiphone signature models.
Absolutely.
He owned Joe Perry's 58.
That's right. 58. Yeah.
Yeah, and gave it back to Joe Perry.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, he bought it and
That was cool.
Yeah, because Joe needed Christmas presents for Joe, and yeah, he sold that guitar.
Yeah.
And then later found out that it was owned by Slash, and beat up Slash for a bunch of years, and then said, you know what, this is gonna wreck our friendship.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. And Slash gave it back to Joe Perry on his 50th birthday. Yeah.
Signature Les Paul. So you can have a signature of a signature, because of course the Les Paul is a signature guitar of Les Paul.
Correct.
So you can have a Slash signature Les Paul, you have a
Mhm.
signature of a signature, and you can have a Joe Bonamassa Les Paul signature of a signature guitar. But Slash has, so if you buy a Slash Les Paul or Epiphone, you can have a signature of a counterfeit, because Slash's guitar wasn't made by Gibson, of a signature.
Mm-hmm.
And one day you and I will build a guitar that will be a replica of the Slash guitar, and someone will come out and play it, and then everyone will go, "Ooh, that's a 2000 whatever Slash guitar." Many years later, it will come about that no, that's actually a counterfeit of a signature of a counterfeit of a signature, and then Gibson will give that guy a recording or an endorsement deal, and then you'll be able to play a signature of a counterfeit of a signature of a counterfeit of a signature guitar.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? Happy meal from Chris. Okay. Doug, hey, Doug, you're right over there. Doug says, man, that guitar. See, now that would be a cool thing. Okay. So we have.
If you were Joe Perry?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I watched that clip on YouTube the other day about Joe Perry talking about it. And it was like, this is the lamest story I've ever heard.
So, Chris, we've got the according to you and I,
Mm-hmm.
we have the Joe Satriani Ibanez, which I think is a great one.
Sure.
We have would you concur on the BC Rich Ironbird?
Sure.
I think you're just going to say sure to everything I say, because that's cause a couple of people have been like the Hamer Scarab. Remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of bendy, pointy, and stuff.
Yeah.
And the I forget what the other one that he said was. I think it was Jackson Kelly or something. I can't remember. But
Yeah. For me, I wasn't really in the 80s. I wasn't really paying attention to the exact guitars. I was just paying attention to guitar tone songs and stuff like that.
sure.
And so
When did
it
you start
wasn't
actually
until
geeking out about guitars?
later? Well, it was probably the 90s or the early 2000s.
Oh wow. Okay.
Was when I started, well, so I did a little bit when I was in college in the, late 80s, early 90s, but it was literally, at least from my point of view, all Ibanez.
Oh wow. Okay.
From
I
the
would not have
magazines
guessed that.
for new stuff. Yeah, at least
Okay.
what I was paying attention to. and stuff that I thought I might want.
There was a time when
So-
Ibanez basically ruled the world for electric guitars. Like that's what everybody had.
Yeah,
and
and I
played.
think that might have been that exact moment in time.
Yeah.
Because it was, why would you not want an Ibanez?
It was sort of like right before everybody wanted ESP, everybody wanted Ibanez.
Yeah.
Or maybe I
Uh-huh.
got that mixed up. But
Yeah,
there
that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you tell about your counterfeit of a counterfeit of a counterfeit?
Oh, yes, I did.
Okay, I'm sorry, I stepped out for a second.
Oh no, I absolutely told about that. So right now our list includes the Ibanez Joe Satriani in no particular order.
Sure.
The BC Rich Ironbird, which is
Uh-huh.
kind of a silly one when you really get right down to it,
Mhm.
because it's based on a CC DeVille video, well, a Poison video.
Yeah.
Number 3, I picked the Jackson Rhodes V,
Okay.
offset V. Number 2, very controversial, but I think warranted, the Slash Appetite for Destruction Les Paul, counterfeit of a signature.
Okay.
Are you ready for number 1? What do you have a number 1 one in mind?
Do you need a drum roll?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
All right. You want to say like what yours is and mine is at the same time? So
Sure.
because they're going to be the same thing.
They're not.
They're going to be exactly the same.
No, they're
thing.
not.
All right. So
Okay.
we're going to go on 1, 2, 3, and then say it. So
Okay.
not 1, 2,
2,
say
3.
it, but 1, 2, 3, and then pause and then say it. Okay.
Okay.
Ready? You
1,
got
2,
yours.
3, and
You got yours. You got yours. You got
Yes.
what Fender you're going to say it is?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Ready? Here we go.
Uh-huh.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Fender
Paul Reed
American
Smith Custom 24.
Professional. Yeah.
So you picked the Fender Professional.
American Professional.
What is that?
It was their top end Stratocaster.
What was the difference between that and the Strat Plus? Remember the Strat Plus was like had everything neat in the.
I
It
might
was-
have gotten it mixed up, but yeah, it's the
I
one.
might
With,
have gotten
it's the one with all the lace sensor pickups,
Okay,
the Wilkinson roller nut.
that was the Strat Plus.
I think they also called it the American Professional.
Maybe
'Cause
someone can look.
They had the
Yeah,
American
because I could be
Standard, and they
off.
also had the American Professional. I was reading the book this morning.
Oh,
during,
okay.
during a very important time in my day, and
What were you doing at exactly that time?
I was reading that magazine.
Did you guys look it up already?
No.
And,
There's a comment.
Yeah.
It's a comment
Yeah.
from Riddle.
Driddle said something. Oh, I bet you he's siding with you. I bet you.
Maybe,
No.
but anyway,
he says, did Chris get into Dylan's edibles? I said, not on purpose, because they're, you can't tell the difference without the packaging.
Who?
honestly.
Dylan? Who?
No, Driddle.
No, he said. Did Chris get into Dylan's edibles?
I'm assuming Dylan talks tone.
Is Dylan from Dylan Talks Tone here eating edibles?
I don't know why he does in his free time.
I don't.
It's not my
I
fucking
don't know.
business.
Yeah,
I'm going with the American Professional.
I'm
You're
gonna.
going with.
Well, so-
I think
well,
that's
so-
a later name for the same guitar.
Well, yeah. So I remember that guitar being the,
early
Strat
80s.
Plus. Oh, this
Okay.
would have been late 80s.
Okay, this is the mid 80s when Fender started making guitars again
Mhm.
in the new Corona factory, and they had
Okay.
the American Standard.
Oh, okay.
And then they had the American. I want to call it the Professional.
I want some
He
clarification.
says Dylan Washburn.
The Washburn Wonder Bar guy.
I don't know who the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, Dylan was the guy from Flipside Music, the great American guitar store.
Dylan. Dylan.
Yeah.
Dylan like the edibles?
I don't know from what Dylan likes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I chose the Paul Reed Smith Custom 24. That was basically
Okay.
the model that they made for like the only model that they made for many, many years.
Okay.
And I personally believe that was the model that changed the landscape of the guitar industry. In fact,
You're probably right.
I think that guitar was responsible for the Fender Strat Plus.
Okay.
Now I'm not sure about the American Professional, but do we have any clarification on the American Professional versus vis-a-vis the Strat Plus?
I have no fucking idea.
No one's chiming in and
I
saying
thought the Professional was a more recent guitar.
Speak up. You kind of sounded like Ron Johnson there.
No,
Are
I
you-
just thought it was a more recent
I'm
guitar.
not. Do they still have a thing called the American
Yes,
Professional?
absolutely, yes.
I'm not trying to.
I know they had one called the American Standard, and I thought they
Yeah.
had one called the American.
And they may very well have. But what do they have now? the professional series.
Plus, well, yeah, they got all sorts of shit, man.
They got all sorts of
You know,
shit.
I can't be bothered with all that.
So we have a
So,
great
yeah.
question, slightly off topic.
I'm all
but
ears.
It's an excellent question. Would an entirely made in the USA guitar be possible? Tuners, pots, frets, pickups.
No,
How
Is
come?
a Harley
no. Well,
entirely made in
it's
America? Every
possible
piece is made in
if somebody
China.
wanted to step up and forge some metal parts, but as of right now, no.
So what? So tuners. Let's see. Okay. So you could locally source lumber. You could get ash and maple and things like that. Bridge. You could get one of our bridges. I happen to know those are all made in the United States. But what? Come on. All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and in order to say that it's made in America,
Yeah.
more than 50% of the cost of manufacturing that has to be over 50%.
But what
So
if?
you
But,
can have
Well,
parts and labor.
but what if
counts
like
as a
every
manufacturing
single
cost.
thing was
I think that's what they're asking.
Sourced
Is
in
if
the-
every single
yeah.
thing was
Harley
made
says made
here.
in America. If you pull that shit apart, every little piece says made in China.
you're going to
made in
make a
China.
lot of friends with that.
Well,
But I
true.
100% agree. So what? So like, are CTS pots even made in America anymore?
No.
Are any pots made in America?
No.
Okay.
Hey, there's a business opportunity for you guys.
Well, you know what you
For
could do?
$10
there.
pots.
Yeah.
No, not for you. For you guys out there in YouTube land.
Here's how I would do that. I would just wire it straight to the jack. That way, no pots and no switch.
But these are all workarounds.
They are
those
get around.
But you
Yeah,
know what?
yeah.
The part of the workaround means it works.
What about 1980?
87, the professional came out in 87.
What's
There
the
you
Strat
go.
Plus then? So okay, so what about even like fret wire? Is that even a thing you could?
I have no idea, but probably not.
Okay,
Are Dunlop pots made in the USA?
beats me.
No.
No.
Where are they?
No,
A
they're just
resounding no from
they're
Chris.
just relabeled CTS pots, and all that stuff's made in Mexico at this point.
Echo
Also
in
87.
Mexico.
Okay.
See.
Oh, really? Also 87. Okay. What if we just made Mexico part of the United States?
Well, then yes,
Then yes,
absolutely.
everything
Yeah.
could be-
Actually, part of the
Yeah.
United States where we are in right now used to be Mexico.
That's right.
So
That's right.
technically,
So-
made in
North
Mexico.
America.
So if you had with one pickup wired right to the jack, it was all made in America.
Yeah,
Unless the
absolutely,
jack
yeah.
was not. Guessing they are still made here.
Yep.
We'd have to source a bass bridge though. Bass guitar. How about that?
Sure.
Bass isn't a bass guitar. Though.
You still have some bridges that are made in Colorado.
Well, I know, but Chris has already kind of.
Poo-pooed.
Yeah.
I don't want to lie.
No, Chris.
You know?
No, but
Crit-
you
Crit
you've
don't wanna lie.
already elicited this response.
No,
I would say it's about time I elicited that.
there's
response.
nothing made in America completely at this point.
So what about pickups? Can you still get pickups that are made in America? I'm sure. Well, I mean, and we're talking from like you can pick up you could get on the computer and order it, and they're here, that week.
I was made in America.
This is nothing
Yes.
to do with
The wire.
Sure.
the wire. Yeah.
But,
So is
but
the,
if you start breaking it down, probably not.
it gets harder and harder and harder to
Yeah, I mean,
source
how-
everything.
How deep do you want to go? Where did the magnets come from? Where did the wire come from?
And
Where did the bobbins come
Well, we would
from?
need to ask the person who asked the question
Correct.
how deep they want to go.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think the mine that the metal comes out of has to be in America.
Yeah. I
The
think
Really
bone
does.
of the
Uh-huh.
cat that died in the desert came from fucking America.
Yeah, we only use naturally dyed.
Yeah, you
Cat
just go through.
bone
You just go through the fucking
for our-
desert in
for our
Nevada
nuts,
and
yeah.
just pick up cat skulls.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, We're just wandering around for
Big
days at a
bones out of
time,
that shit.
hoping to find something
God, it's
that
gonna
we can
smell
make a
so good in here when you guys are doing all that too. By the
a
way,
nut from. Yeah. Yeah.
I have to go to the bathroom. Have a good time.
so what's an American cat? Cougars, pumas, what? Mountain lions. Mountain lions. We got lots of
Yeah.
mountain
Yeah.
lions
Oh
here.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
So we
is-
just go
yeah.
shoot some fucking mountain lions, dry their
Uh-huh.
skulls out, and make bones out of them.
No, well,
Yep.
deer are here.
Make
You
bones
can,
out of it.
take deer antler, deer bone.
Yep.
I don't know. There's
Yeah.
something more vicious about a mountain lion.
The antler is gross. We've made some nuts out of antler, and
God,
that's
it
the
smells
stinkiest thing that
fucking
you would ever
autopsy.
want
Oh, yeah.
to smell.
It is.
So
But it's got one of the better
I'd rather
sounds.
smell patchouli
Sure.
than that shit. Yeah,
Sure
and that
does.
says a lot. Maine Coon, American cat. Yeah, there you go. Not every little piece, but no, I'm gonna deep dive on this.
I want to make a guitar nut out of
No one could afford
ass bone.
ass bone. Like,
Sure.
yeah,
Whatever parts.
tailbone. Boom.
The further back, the better, right? Yeah.
What if I cut my damn foot off and you use part of that?
Oh man, that would be the best. Yeah.
John
Yeah.
John Norkick. Sorry if I'm fucking up your name. That's specifically for nut bone.
Yep.
That sounds like a puppy
Yeah.
mill, except more
Yeah.
mean, you know, because they're
Yeah.
wild. But whatever,
You have all these.
man.
You have all these animals that are.
You're gonna have Sarah McLachlan singing songs about your
specifically
ass.
bred for just one little tiny part.
Walrus is
I'm gonna
all
change the
American.
channel when
Yeah.
the commercial comes
That's what
on.
they
It's
do in
not gonna be
Alaska.
good.
Yeah.
They have to be
Yeah.
free range.
Walrus penis has got a hard
Free
time
range
ever.
cat.
Free range cat bone.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
The
That's
mountain lion.
that's
There we
easy
go.
to find.
You just gotta
right?
go wildcraft
Yeah.
that shit. You just gotta wildcraft it, you know.
You just hang out behind Chinese food places. That's where you find all your best cat bone.
Yeah.
Totally, especially when there's a veterinarian sharing the parking lot. Yeah,
Yep.
dumpster dive. Boom. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Disclaimer.
May contain cat bone. Cat bone may be hot.
What is this? What am I looking at? What am I looking at? I gotta put my glasses on. Who?
Says the cat nuts have bones.
Do cat nuts have bones?
They do not.
No nut, no male
mess me
gender. There is a nomenclature that is very misleading.
A walrus does.
Ted just dealt
No.
me in for a hand.
You're
I
a
lost like
walrus.
50,
you wish
but
you had a
$50.
walrus stick.
Yeah.
$750.
Yeah, I'm down $750. I instead of going to the bathroom, I went and got dealt in for a hand over at the 459 Social Club.
Yeah.
And
So
I-
now you're broke and you still have to pee.
Yeah.
So that's why my
Yeah.
left hand's been itching me all night. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys might not know this, but we no longer have Zumba next door. We have a poker club. And the poker guys are way cooler than the Zumba people. No, I don't think there was any problem with the Zumba people.
I'm
they were
sorry, but you
loud.
have to move these cars off the street or I'll have them.
Yeah. It looks like we have a handful of super chats that we need to get to before we wrap it up for tonight. Brett Smith says, building a Telly kit into an Acoustasonic, do you think that I could throw a piezo pickup under the Telly bridge for an acoustic sound, or does it need to be a rosewood bridge?
I'd say go for it.
Yeah, first of all, you can absolutely buy a Fishman Telly bridge. Yeah.
Yep.
So, and then Dan G, would it be possible to do a USA everything made in America? Like we've already rammed that to death. So yeah, there's no point in talking about that. Yeah, I think that the Fishman, I think you can get a regular Telly bridge. That would be the best way to go, I think. I don't think I don't believe that sticking a 50-cent piezo thing under the bridge is going to yield the ideal result. Do you, Chris?
No, and in fact, we heard we had a review of that setup that we did, and it was that thing you stuck under the bridge. Whew, that sucked.
I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
But they get a plastic penis in there? No.
No, and that was actually not under the bridge as much. We had 3 or 4 of those little piezo sensors on what was essentially the soundboard.
Yeah,
of that guitar.
Yeah,
and I thought it was.
It made a sound.
Some of them were masonite, and those kind of blew dogs for quarters. But remember that one that we built with the cedar top that we got from Dan actually was surprisingly really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought so.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
No, you already got it.
Oh, okay.
I was a little behind. I had a few beers.
Don't they make a a piezo that's actually part of a metal roller style bridge?
I think that they do, Doug.
Maybe that
Yeah.
one he could do it with, but other than that,
I
That
would have
costs more than 50 cents though.
no, that's that's an expensive.
Yeah. So I don't think you're going to get away cheap. But so the thing with the Fender Acoustasonic though is that it's sort of an electric guitar built like an acoustic because it's got that acoustic bridge and saddle, so it kind of mocks that.
And it's a bunch of modeling.
That's right. The pickup has all sorts of different
Sweeps. It's
and
mostly
things.
about
Yeah.
pickup, and it's
So it's
But-
like a hybrid.
Sure.
Kind of, yeah. I think though that you could build a really neat acoustic sounding electric guitar starting with a Tele and actually cop that pretty well.
Yeah.
Especially if, like I said, Fishman builds a Tele bridge, because those guys pretty much have the market cornered on piezo and acoustic sounds. One thing I will tell you, add an equalizer of some kind, because being able to adjust that stuff, that's the hot setup.
Yep.
So are you okay, Chris?
Yep.
All right. Do you need more beer?
No.
All right. How about a shot of whiskey? Remember to check out our friends at Flipside Music, the great American guitar store. The next time you're in Denver, Colorado, please check out Flipside Music. And if Ike is there, he will give you a big kiss. And if Dylan is there, he will.
Push
Gummy.
it away.
Give you a
Yes.
gummy.
Yes, that's right. He'll give you one of the. We don't know that.
You got to pay extra for it.
We don't know that Dylan or Ike will do either of those. But are you all right? What's the matter? If you're not in the Denver area, though, Flipside Music's online store is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Everything in the
that
shop.
means 31.
Every single thing in the shop is available. You can buy it online anytime you want. Please remember to check them out. Also, I almost forgot. For all of you builders out there, I got a note from Cheryl at Bitterroot Guitars today, and you know what she told me? The 17 1/4 inch truss rods are back in stock. Share how that makes you feel. So, So, yes, ma'am.
Dan G.
Hi, Dan.
Do you guys recommend a process for the semi-spherical pre-rounded fret ends? Seems like it'd be tough to line up every fret evenly if they're not cut to place.
That's a tricky one. The hot dog fret ends. Have you ever done any of those?
No, I don't actually think that they finish those before they press them in. That's an impossibility.
See,
So-
I have seen guys who claim that they do.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I have never done that.
Good luck to them.
Well, yeah, I'm look, man, I'm just telling you what I've seen on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't kill the messenger. But yeah, they're a really tricky looking thing, and I don't do them.
Yep.
You know. So do I have a?
We're almost done, and you haven't talked about build and paint a guitar with Mike Learn.
As a matter of fact, we have talked about that.
Where the fuck was that?
You were right there.
All right. Well, you talk a lot, so I do.
I do talk a lot. That's true. That's absolutely true. So, yeah. Anyway, John and Cheryl Guitars, they have 17 1/4 truss rods. Buy them now. Use the coupon code TXTOAST TEX. Wait, Texas Toast. What is it? Texas Toast. It's Texas Toast 15. It's whatever it is. You guys know it. Tell John and Cheryl that the guys from Texas Toast sent you over there. And if you need lumber for your guitar project, please check out Guitar Wood Experts. I think it's Texas 15. Also, call Dan, call Calvin. They'll give you a deal. What's the matter? TXTOAST. I'm kind of working without a net here, people. All right, this is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that life is short. You might as well have a cool guitar. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
All right, wait, don't turn it off yet.